Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of Fort-Laramie starring Raymond Burr wraps up this week of classic radio theater, as it was originally broadcast 66 years ago, May 6, 1956, Never the Twain. And we thank you for tuning in on this Friday, 6th day of May, 126th day of the year. We have 239 days remaining until we get to the end of the year. The American Bible Society, founded in New York City on this date in 1816. In 1835, the first issue of the New York Herald newspaper published. Arkansas seceded from the Union on this date in 1861. And in 1863, the Battle of Chancellorsville ended indefinitely with the defeat of the Army of the Potomac under General Joseph Hooker by Confederate troops under Stonewall Jackson. Chief Crazy Horse of the Ogallala Sioux surrendered to Army troops in Nebraska in 1877. Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act on this date in 1882, banning Chinese immigrants for over 60 years. The Eiffel Tower officially opened to the public on this date in 1889, and the Works Progress Administration, part of the New Deal, passed on this date in 1935. In 1937, the German Zeppelin Hindenburg caught fire, and it was destroyed within a minute while attempting to dock at Lakehurst, New Jersey.
This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's the place is 400 or 500 feet into the sky, and it's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the flame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers.
Broadcaster Herb Morrison, who happened to be there just to cover the return of the Hindenburg and the landing of the Hindenburg as an incidental story. And it became a part of history. Isn't that interesting how recordings came that 36 people killed in that crash? John Steinbeck awarded the Pulitzer Prize for his novel The Grapes of Wrath on this date in 1940. Bob Hope performing his first USO show at California's March Field in 1941. On Corregidor on this date in 1942, the last American forces in the Philippines surrendered to the Japanese. In 1945, Axis Sally delivering her last propaganda broadcast to Allied troops. Roger Bannister in 1954 became the first person to run the mile in under 4 minutes. At a press conference in 1974 on this date, President Ford addressed opponents of Vietnam refugees being resettled in the United States.
I understand the attitude of some. We have serious economic problems. But out of the 120,000 refugees who are either here or on their way, 60% of those are children. They ought to be given an opportunity.
President Ford said, and we're quoting, "damn mad at the adverse reaction of the American people to Vietnamese refugees." And look today, we have wonderful relations with the Vietnamese people. It is a place of beauty that people go when they go to the Far East. And it is a country which, once I retire from full-time work, I plan to go to Vietnam for a period. Does that mean that we should not be mad at the people who fought? No, absolutely not. Wars happen. People were killed. And it's sad. But we have to move on. And that's sad. There are some countries which I'll never be very happy with. But at a press conference 1 year later, after that press conference, President Ford addressed calls for a congressional inquiry into how we got into and out of the Vietnam War.
I think the lessons of the past in Vietnam have already been learned. Learned by presidents, learned by Congress, learned by the American people, and we should have our focus on the future. And as far as I'm concerned, that's where we will concentrate.
President Ford calling the war sad and tragic in many respects. And it was in 1981 a jury of architects and sculptors unanimously selected Maya Ling Lin's design for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial from 1,400 other entries. Former Arkansas state worker Paula Jones filed suit on this date against former President Bill Clinton back in 1994, alleging he had sexually harassed her 3 years earlier. The body of former CIA Director William Colby, found on this date in 1996, washed up on a riverbank in southern Maryland 8 days after he disappeared. The series finale of the TV sitcom Friends aired on NBC in 2004. The finale attracted 52.46 million viewers. It was the fourth most watched television series finale in history. And a weird story in 2013. I don't know if you remember this. 3 women missing for more than a decade found alive in Cleveland. Ariel Castro, their captor, taken into custody. It was a weird and sick and depraved story. Passing away on this date in history, author-philosopher Henry David Thoreau, King Edward VII of the UK, L. Frank Baum, the writer of The Wizard of Oz, educator Maria Montessori, actor Monty Woolley, who was a very, very funny man. I wish I could find more copies of the radio show that he starred in. It's funny, but it's just another one of those shows that no amount of restoration will get the copies audible to where we can air them. Kai Winding, whose recording of More was just delightful. Trombonist, jazz composer, also actor Charles Farrell, Wilfred Hyde White, another delightfully funny man, German actress Marlene Dietrich, and Goober, George Lindsay, all passing away on this date in history. Psychiatrist Sigmund Freud, born on this date. Explorer Robert Peary, also born on this date. Rudolph Valentino. Restaurateur Toots Shor. Raymond Bailey, Mr. Drysdale in the Beverly Hillbillies. Pianist Carmen Caballero. English film actor Stuart Granger, and of course, the inimitable Orson Welles, all born on this date in history. Happy birthday number 77 to Bob Seger, still making those night moves. Mary McGregor, who remains torn between 2 lovers at 74. Tom Bergeron, 67 today. Actress Roma Downey is 62. George Clooney, 61. Colt Cabana, pro wrestler, 42 years of age, working with All Elite Wrestling these days. From Friday Night Lights and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Adriana Palicki is 39. From Precious and Empire, a delightful lady, Gaborni Sidibe, is 39. And from Terra Nova and the 2019 remake of Aladdin, Naomi Scott is 29. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 6th day of May as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you!
From 66 years ago, May 6, 1956, Fort Laramie. That's up next here on this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Had it not been for Perry Mason, Raymond Burr would have done at least a couple more seasons of Fort Laramie. I honestly believe that. We go back 66 years to May 6, 1956, episode 15 of Fort Laramie, Never the Twain.
At the gallop! Oh!
Fort Laramie. Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier. The saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire. And the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Lieutenant Sybert's reporting is ordered, Captain.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sybert. I have a special detail for you.
Yes, sir?
We've received a report there's a band of Brule Sioux camped on the North Fork near White Butte. I want you to ride out and see what they're up to.
Yes, sir.
They're too close to the Bozeman Trail. Better take a scout with you. I suggest Dan Tolliver.
I prefer Pete Hazen, sir.
Oh? Why?
I don't care for Tolliver.
He's the best scout on the post.
He's a squaw man.
You've still got a lot to learn about the West, Mr. Syberts. I suggest you might find old Dan Tolliver a very valuable teacher.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sirree, son. I come out to these parts when I was a lot younger than you. Mighty lot younger. Nothing on my cheeks but peach fuzz.
Must have been rugged in those days.
Rugged? Why, son, there weren't a town or village twixt St. Joe on the Missouri and Monterey on the Pacific. Man had room to breathe. Now look at it. Immigrants pushing west every year, filling the plains with dust and damnation. I can't say I blame the Indians for being a mite put out about it.
I'd expect you to look at it their way.
What are you signifying by that, son?
Well, I understand you've been closer to the Indians than some of us.
Well, so I have in the manner of speaking. Lived amongst them off and on for many a year. Fine people. Decent people.
I saw how decent they were up on the Powder River. Man doesn't look very pretty after they've been decent to him.
What part of the state you call home, son?
Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Well, how'd you feel if all of a sudden a lot of people started crowding into your hometown, moving onto the streets you live in, moving right square into your house, maybe? What'd you do?
Well, I don't know.
And I know. You'd throw them out, that's what. Well, this whole prairie belongs to the Indian. Yes, sir, it's his home. And he feels about it just the same way as you do about your home.
It isn't the same thing.
Well, might seem the same to an Indian.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, wait a minute.
What is it?
Indian.
Where?
Down there in that draw.
Oh, yeah. Hey, his horse is bucking.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, first time I ever knowed an Indian to get thrown off his horse. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. Hey. Rattlesnake.
He's going to strike. That's why her horse threw her.
Yeah, that snake ain't going to be much use no more.
You better get a tourniquet on that leg before the poison starts moving.
Well, you could use your revolver, Lanyard.
Oh, sure. Tell her not to be afraid. Tell her we'll take care of her.
I understand you.
Oh, well. There. It's got the blood stopped. Now, I'm going to have to cut your leg so I can suck out the poison. I'll try not to hurt you.
She's fainted.
It's just as well. I had to make sure to get all that poison out.
That Indian blood taste any different from regular blood?
What are you talking about? Blood's blood.
That's what I've been talking about.
Help me get her over to my horse.
Where are you taking her?
Back to the fort.
Well, you think that's smart?
We can't leave her out here. She needs a doctor's care.
Well, we could try to find her people's camp.
And leave her with them to die of blood poisoning?
She's only an Indian, son.
All right, Tolliver, that's enough. Let's get our horses. It's a long ride back to the fort.
What you've done may have serious consequences, Mr. Syberts.
What else could I do, sir?
Look, from the Indians' point of view, you've kidnapped one of their women.
Well, I suggested we ought to find her village captain, but the lieutenant said bring her here.
We can only hope they didn't see you.
And that's doubtful. Her pony bolted, and when it gets back to camp without her, there'll be devil to pay. She ain't no ordinary squaw.
What do you mean?
By the look of her clothes and the way she wears her hair, she could be the daughter of a chief. Lieutenant Syberts, we're here to keep the peace, not to commit overt acts of hostility.
It was only an act of simple Christian charity.
Lieutenant, you'll form a detail at once and return that girl to her people.
But, sir, the doctor says she's got to stay in bed for at least a couple of days.
Corporal of the guard, sir.
Well?
Post number 3 reports a party of Indians riding toward the main gate.
How many?
50 or 60 of them, sir.
What do you think, Dan?
My guess is to come to parley.
Hope you're right.
Let's see what they want.
I suppose that's the chief riding in alone.
It's Spotted Tail. He's always been friendly.
Well, he ain't dressed up friendly today, Captain. Every scalp he ever took dangling in his belt.
Shall I fall in the company, Captain?
Don't move, Syberts. Greetings, friend. The soldiers of the Great White Father are honored by the visit of the mighty Spotted Tail.
The soldiers of a Great White Father say one thing, do another. Say want peace, steal land, shoot buffalo, call it peace. Now steal Indian woman, steal daughter of Spotted Tail.
Your daughter was not stolen, Spotted Tail. She was hurt. This officer brought her here so the doctor could help her.
Where is Awapa, my daughter?
She is in the hospital. I'll take you to her.
It's true, my father. White soldier, help me.
Why enemy of Indian save Indian life?
We do not want to be your enemy, Spotted Tail. We want peace.
I hear this many times before.
I'm sorry, Captain, but you'll have to go now.
Come, Spotted Tail. Ahuapa must rest.
Not leave. Daughter belong to her people. I take.
But she can't be moved.
I move.
No, my father. I do as white doctor say.
You come to the lodge of your father.
Captain, I can't be responsible.
Spotted Tail, hear me. Ahuapa will live. She will be well in a few days. If you move her now, she may die.
So medicine man make my daughter well.
Spotted Tail, you can pitch your lodge outside the fort until Ahuapa is well again. You can see her every day.
Spotted Tail not Asian Sea Indian. He is warrior. Must hunt.
You can hunt around here. There's plenty of game.
White soldier keep daughter of Spotted Tail in prison.
My father wise chief. He know this no prison. Is hospital. These no enemy. They friend. Ahuapa here. Ahuapa stay here.
Aye then. Be it so.
Well, Mr. Syberts, your little adventure didn't turn out so badly after all.
No, sir.
But I don't advocate rescuing Indian maidens in distress as a substitute for military duties.
No, sir, only...
Only what?
Had the captain been in my place, I feel sure he would have done the same thing.
Oh?
Yes, sir.
Maybe so. She's a spunky little baggage. You, going over to the quarters?
As a matter of fact, sir, I thought maybe I'd drop in at the hospital here.
I see. Well, good luck, Mr. Syberts.
Thank you, sir. Morning, Doctor.
Oh, Lieutenant Syberts.
How's your patient this morning?
Well, now, I have more than one, Lieutenant.
How is she?
Well, now, by a curious coincidence, she was inquiring about you this morning.
About me?
Yes. She asked me to send for you.
Why?
Why don't you ask her? She's quite well enough to talk to now.
Thanks, Doctor.
May 6, 1956, Fort Laramie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll take a look at the news from 66 years ago today when we continue. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Visit my webpage if you have a moment, classicradio.stream.
Radio? Why should I advertise on radio? There's nothing to look at, no pictures.
Listen, you can do things on radio you couldn't possibly do on TV.
That'll be the day.
All right, watch this. Okay, people, and now when I give you the cue, I want the 700-foot mountain of whipped cream to roll into Lake Michigan, which has been drained and filled with hot chocolate. Then the Royal Canadian Air Force will fly overhead towing a 10-ton maraschino cherry, which will be dropped into the whipped cream to the cheering of 25,000 extras. All right, cue the mountain. Cue the Air Force. Cue the maraschino cherry. Okay, 25,000 cheering extras. Now, you want to try that on television?
Well...
You see, radio is a very special medium because it stretches the imagination.
Doesn't television stretch the imagination?
Up to 27 inches, yes.
She was born in a humble shack amidst the lemon groves of Goleta, California.
Mommy, don't cry. You know what they say? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I was gonna say life sucks, and then you die. But I like yours better.
And with that, Alexandra Johnson launched her lemonade stand.
Lemonade, nickel a glass.
Every day, even during the frigid California winters, a bone-chilling 72 degrees, you could find her.
You can have it sour, you can have it sweet. Little girl's lemonade will knock you off your feet.
The little girl with the sour brew wanted more, national distribution, franchises, and so she rolled out a well-budgeted advertising campaign.
Me and the rest of the Dockwakers only drink little girl lemonade.
She was made president of the International Sour Drink Association and chosen to give the keynote speech at their convention.
You all set with words of wisdom, honey? You know what they say, Mommy. Always advertise so consumers think of your product first. I was gonna say never swallow a lemon seed or a watermelon on your tummy.
This fabricated but interesting story is to remind you that it's called advertising and it works.
Put your message on this national advertising platform by emailing classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning into this Friday Classic Radio Theater, an episode of Fort Laramie starring Raymond Burr, as it was originally broadcast on Sunday, May 6, 1956, in the newspapers of that Sunday 66 years ago. These were some of the headlines. A top-to-bottom reduction in federal income tax rates as soon as the budget permits, proposed by Representative Daniel A. Reed, the Republican of New York. Reed, the senior Republican on the tax-writing House and Ways and Means Committee, proposed a 3-point revision of individual income tax schedules at a time when prospects of a Treasury surplus have revived talk of tax cuts at this session of Congress. The disarmament chief, Harold E. Stassen, said today the East and West were roughly halfway along the road to agreement on disarmament. But Stassen, after preparing to leave for home after 5 weeks of unsuccessful five-power disarmament talks, warned that the last half of the road will be the hardest. The Atlantic Alliance yesterday agreed to a new mobilization of money and resources against Russia's bid to win over the world's neutrals. And in a communique early today, the alliance declared it has successfully deterred Soviet aggression and led the Kremlin to adopt a policy of coexistence. A high task force official indicated today that brand new hydrogen weapons will emerge from tests currently underway at the Pacific Proving Ground at Eniwetok. Dr. William E. Ogle of the Atomic Energy Commission said the 1954 hydrogen bomb test proved the feasibility of some big weapons principles and opened the way for further development in the H-bomb field. House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee reported the Geneva Summit Conference had seriously weakened anti-communist sentiment in the Middle East and Southeast Asia. It said the conference attended by President Eisenhower helped promote a dangerous neutralism and distrust of America in those areas. Growing indications the House Rules Committee will clear President Eisenhower's 4-point civil rights program for a floor vote, even though Chairman Howard W. Smith, the Democrat from Virginia, opposes it. If it passes the House, however, Southern opposition is expected to kill it in the Senate. One Southern Democrat said the Rules Committee might just as well send it to the floor, quoting, he said its supporters have enough strength to bypass the committee with a discharge petition. This appears to be true, even though the moderate plan is not as comprehensive as the omnibus measure sponsored by Chairman Emanuel Seller, the Democrat of New York, of the House Judiciary Committee. And those some of the day's top news stories, as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, May 6, 1956, on your radio Fort Laramie, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
Morning, ma'am.
Now is good.
You feeling better?
Pain all gone.
That's fine.
Ahoapa all life to Lieutenant. Ahoapa belong, Lieutenant.
I beg pardon?
How else Ahoapa show thanks?
By getting well quickly.
Is not enough.
It's all the thanks I need.
Is strange.
What is strange, Ahuapa?
White man, Indian, both men. White men think different.
That's because we've been taught differently.
Ahoapa like way white man think. You teach Ahoapa think this way?
That's quite a large order.
But you do. First you teach Ahoapa speak white man tongue.
You speak English very well.
Not good, Ahoapa think. You teach better.
I'll be glad to try.
Good. You begin now.
I don't know where to begin.
How does Lieutenant call himself? Me, Ahoapa. What lieutenant?
Oh, my name is Syberts, Richard Syberts.
Richard. Good. See? Ahoapa learned first important English word.
Sir?
Mrs. Syberts, I may be mistaken, but I don't believe I saw any change in the order of the day.
I beg pardon, sir?
Since when have sash and plume been indicated as proper dress for the officer in charge of guard mount?
Well, it isn't, sir, but I thought it might be good for the morale.
The morale of whom?
Why, the men, sir, naturally.
How's that, Lieutenant?
Well, sir, it also occurred to me that it might make a good impression on the Indians around the post. They put a lot of stock in their own headdresses and ceremonial regalia. I thought it might be a good idea to show them what our dress uniform looks like.
Lieutenant Syberts, the only Indian who witnessed this guard mount was Ahuapa.
I'd noticed that, sir.
And had you noticed that each time you are the officer of the day, she is here on the parade ground to watch you change the guard?
Oh, sir, I guess she's interested in soldiers, sir.
Soldiers? Or a certain soldier?
I wouldn't know, sir.
I believe you're off duty now.
Yes, sir?
Then, Lieutenant, I suggest you shouldn't keep the lady waiting.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It always makes me a little sad to see such a sunset. So beautiful.
My people say they not wish to die. And each evening, Great Spirit must fight with it until it die bloody death. And only when it scalped will night come. Warrior may sleep, gain strength to meet new day.
My people say the sun is a handsome god who rides across the sky in a golden chariot, forever chasing the beautiful goddess who is the moon.
And does he ever catch her?
Never.
A sad story. He should catch her.
He can't. For he belongs to the day and she to the night.
But if he did catch her, what would happen?
Who knows? So great is their love, perhaps the heavens would burst into blinding flame, consuming everything.
Oh, yes. But he would have caught her.
Yes, he would have caught her.
He gone now, your handsome sun god. Gone over edge of world. Great Spirit has killed him.
Oh, no. He's not dead. Look over in the east. The moon goddess comes following after him.
Richard?
Yes?
I am that moon goddess. You are that god of sun. And I follow you always. And never may I catch you.
No. No, I won't run away over the edge of the world like the sun. I'll stay here with you. Always. Always.
You're not afraid of blinding flame that consume everything?
I'm not afraid.
Then I'm not afraid.
And the conclusion of Fort Laramie, May 6, 1956, comes up next on this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
On Saturday's Classic Radio Theater, one of the oldest episodes of Calling All Cars that we have. It was broadcast originally on May 7th, 1935, 87 years ago today. the Wilting Chrysanthemum. And before I get into what the program's about, I have to tell you that I'm amazed that this is going back 87 years, and it sounds as good as it does. I swear to you, it is that old. The wife and baby girl of a Japanese man in Los Angeles have disappeared. The wife has run off with her lover, and a dead baby found buried under tin cans with 2 bullet holes. That's coming up on Saturday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But now the conclusion of Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr, from 66 years ago, May 6th, 1956.
Good evening, Lieutenant Seiberts.
Hello, Piney.
You want a little rye?
No, thanks. I'm looking for Captain Quince. Has he been in?
No, I haven't seen him all evening.
Well. Hello there, son.
Hello, Dan.
How about you and me having a little drink?
No, thanks.
Oh, come on now. That ain't very sociable. Seems how you and me got a lot in common.
What do you mean?
Oh, you know what I mean.
If you'll pardon me, Mr.
Wait,
Tulliver.
what's your hurry, son?
I'm sorry.
Oh, now, wait now. Nothing like a pretty little squaw to change a man's mind about Indians, is there, son?
You filthy-minded...
Oh, now, son, now wait. There's no cause to get your dander up. I was just...
Eddie! Eddie!
Now, what's this all about?
Captain Quince, you ought to take better care of this young man of yours. He seems mighty touchy.
Mr. Seibert, you're aware of the regulations covering the conduct of officers in uniform?
Yes, sir, only...
You'll consider yourself confined to quarters until further notice.
Yes, sir.
Captain Quince reporting, sir.
Good morning, Lee. I hear you refereed a little scuffle over at the Sutlers last night.
Why, yes, sir.
One of our officers fighting a civilian.
Well, Major Daggett, as far as I can see, he was provoked.
Did Dan Tolliver attack him?
No, sir. Tolliver was taunting him about the Indian girl.
Seibert's in love with her?
Apparently.
Well, his love affair will have to wait. We've got more important things to worry about. That's why I sent for you.
Yes, sir.
Just got a dispatch from Fort Kearney. Some idiot Kansas militia outfit attacked a Cheyenne village last week.
But we have a treaty. We're at peace with the Cheyenne.
Apparently it didn't mean a thing to those brave civilian soldiers. They attacked without warning or provocation. Massacred every man, woman, and child in the village. Come in.
I beg pardon, sir.
Yes, Sergeant. What is it?
The Indians have pulled out. They was there last night, but this morning there ain't a single teepee down by the river. Just a couple of stray dogs.
They got the news quicker than we did.
They always do.
A party of Cheyenne is killed and the Sioux take to the warpath. We may have a general uprising on our hands. Have your company ready to move out in half an hour, Captain.
Yes, sir.
It's not good for daughter of chief to be tied like prisoner.
It is not good for daughter of chief to refuse to follow her people to war.
We are now many marches from white man. Untie me now. I shall stay with my people.
It is good. You will get well in your mind now. The white man medicine make your body well, but your mind sick. You will be well now.
There is much good about white man.
He killed our people.
Not white man at Fort Laramie. It was others. And it was not our people who were killed. It was the Cheyenne. We at peace with white man at Fort Laramie.
White man is white man. Indian is Indian.
And soon white man will kill us all if we not make peace with him.
Then we will die brave in battle, not drunk on reservation.
You will. Warrior will. But what of women? What of me?
For many moon, dark elk want you for his wife. Marry him and have many babies.
I will remain with my people as long as I live. That I promise. But I will never marry Dark Elk or any other Indian.
Another glass of punch, Major? Captain Quinn?
Thank you, Mrs. Davenport.
On Christmas Eve? Why not? Thank you. Well, Merry Christmas, Lee.
Merry Christmas, Major.
Hey, where's young Seiberts? Thought the doctor was letting him out of the hospital at last.
He'll be along presently. Major, I have a suggestion to make, if I may.
Sure, go ahead, Lee.
This has been a bad winter so far. It looks like it's going to be worse. The Indians they're bound to feel it. Game is scarce. They haven't the advantages of the treaty supplies we were furnishing them before they took the warpath.
What's your suggestion, Lee?
Call them in for a peace parley as soon as the snows melt, say April 1st. Maybe we can end this useless bloodshed.
Maybe, but I don't think they'll come.
Why not?
After that massacre in Kansas last summer, they won't forget. I can't say as I blame them.
Worth a try, isn't it, sir?
Certainly, anything's worth a try.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Oh, Lieutenant, how's the arm?
Doctor says it's going to be all right, sir.
Lucky he didn't lose it. You should have seen it, Major. Arrow cracked the bone, pinned his arm against his side. It's a miracle he's alive.
I know. Those were Spotted Tail's warriors, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Any idea who got you?
Yes, sir. A warrior named Dark Elk. He was after my scalp. I shot him.
That change your opinion of Indians, Lieutenant?
No, sir. They're a fine race of people, sir.
Come in.
Beg pardon, sir.
Yes, Lieutenant. What is it?
Party of Indians approaching the post, sir.
War party?
No, sir. Women and children along with the braves.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a peace parley after all. Let's go out and meet them. Oh, where's Captain Quince?
Right outside, sir.
Major, it's Spotted Tail.
I see it is.
Greeting, soldiers of the great White Father.
Greetings, brave Spotted Tail.
I come in peace and in sorrow.
What sorrows the mighty chief of the Sioux?
My daughter, Awapa, has gone beyond the sunset to join the Great Spirit.
She's dead?
The soldiers of the great White Father joined in the sorrow of Spotted Tail.
The winter was long and cold. There was little to eat. A fever came to Awapa and would not leave her until at last she left me forever. But before she fell into long sleep, she asked two favors. One I can grant, the other I must ask of you.
Now, what are those favors, Spotted Tail?
She asked me to make peace with a white man. I have come to make peace.
It is good, Spotted Tail. And what is the favor you must ask of me?
Awapa, love white man. Awapa, say if she cannot be with white man in life, then she wished to be with him in death. Awapa asked to be buried at Fort-Laramie.
It shall be done. Captain Quince?
Yes, sir?
Would you be good enough to assign a funeral detail? Full military honors.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Seiberts? Lieutenant Seiberts!
Sir.
Take charge of the detail.
Yes, sir.
Fort Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort Laramie by William N. Robeson, with sound patterns by Bill James and Ray Kemper. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Harry Bartell, Jack Moyles, Lillian Bayef, Ralph Moody, John Daner, John Stevenson, and Don Diamond.
Company, tension! Dismiss.
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
66 years ago, May 6, 1956, Fort Laramie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this station, support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every Friday at this time. Our webpage, classicradio.stream. And please tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.